having battled for the best part of 3 days to the escape doldrum-like conditions which have prevailed in place of the trade winds that would normally have been accelerating the Vendée Globe fleet south at speed. Now it is time for the real thing. The winds have been picking up since the morning, and with it the speedos on the flying, foiling Imocas have climbed accordingly. On the afternoon of his 35th birthday, British skipper Sam Goodchild, vulnerable, took the race lead again. Moving at more than 24 knots, he will have had little time for cake and candles, but his gift to himself is a margin which looks set to open up more. He was already nearly 30 nautical miles ahead of Jon Le Cam, Tout commence en Finistère Armor, whilst third-place Seb Simon, Groupe Dubreuil, was matching Goodchild's speed some 50 miles to the east. But then from tomorrow at midday the leaders will hit the buffers again as they reach an active doldrums zone, which might take 24 hours to cross. We are picking up speed little by little. We are leaving this zone of light airs and no trade winds, and now we are going to have wind all the way to the entrance of the doldrums. Even if the last few days have been quite peaceful and really quite pleasant, it is nice to find some wind pressure again, and to be going fast and in the right direction, enthused Boris Kramer. With the need to get out of the calm winds, we are all still quite west. The situation is therefore very different to a normal race, emerging out of the trade winds zone, and as a result, I am not sure that there is a very specific strategy to be implemented. Our entry point into the doldrums is, in a way, already a bit chosen for us by now, continued L'Occitane en Provence skipper Kramer, who has taken a middle route. After having spread out over more than 300 miles laterally, the leading pack is starting to converge towards the same axis. We are all arriving more or less on the same line, and we will probably enter the doldrums spaced only tens of miles apart, added Kramer, who knows that in this famous intertropical convergence zone known for its meteorological instability, the slightest little gap or cloud can completely change the situation. The leaders should enter tomorrow in the middle of the day and come out 24 hours later. As things stand, we can expect the leaders to deal with more activity, that is to say squalls, rain and so on than their pursuers, said Bossele Rockhut, the race's weather consultant. The doldrums looks pretty challenging, confirmed 5th place Charlie Dalin, Massif Saint-Prevoyance, who added that he could see first cumulonimbus clouds appearing on the horizon. Not so for Jon Le Cam. At the easterly extreme, the southeastern tip of the biodiversity protection zone of the Cape Verde archipelago, the skipper of Tout commence en Finistère Armor is trying to cut the cheese, as the French say, attempting to cut a corner and rejoin the fleet. He positioned his jibe perfectly yesterday evening and, for the time being, he is exploiting all the capabilities of his daggerboard boat, noted Jacques Carras, from Race Management. The Vendée Globe is great in that it offers a lot of freedom in strategic choices. Jon got through the light zone better than us, and especially better than we imagined. I think he will cross the doldrums at the same times as us, but in this zone everything is always very random and can change very quickly. It is impossible to predict anything, commented Sebastian Marset, Fusia, a feeling echoed on a video by Nicholas Lundven, Holcim, PRB, and many others who feel like having done one doldrums an easier passage through the doldrums might be merited. Meanwhile, Hungarian skipper Szabi Weirs is back on the racecourse after making a painstaking repair to a tear in his mainsail. Knowing that he still has most of the globe to race round, he was taking no chances in his repair. He explained, "It was quite a big one. I was working very hard the whole 2 days to get it fixed. It was a really big repair, and so I hope I made a good job. The test is coming now." Also, when you start to repair things, you also recognize some other problems. I noticed I had lost one of my wind instruments at the top of the mast, probably when it was in the water. So I also had to replace that one, and I did some other small things, and so I am back to sailing. I was really waiting for this time, wanting to be back at sea. The hole was about 2.5 meters high by 1.5 meters wide, he explained, continuing, so about 4 meters or so of stitching, and then I was first of all using some Denima yarn, untwisted from a piece of rope, I was stitching the sails with this kind of diamond stitch, the purpose of which was to get the pieces very correct, exactly together, but it worked, it all came back to the same place. Because it is very important that otherwise you create an area which would be very overloaded if you don't position it correctly. The other reason I used the Dyneema line was when you put the glue on top and some Sikaflex which goes very deep into the yarn, and then also gluing the yarn to the sail stops it moving. And it stops the chafe where the sail is stitched through. That took me 1 day to stitch the sail. And on the second day I was putting on some Hydronet material, that is a Dyneema patch, glued with Sikaflex. Then I secured it all with another small patch. That was the mainsail job. And then I had to climb the mast to replace the wind sensor and take the halyard down as I did not take it with me when I cut the A7 off. I also made some small repairs to the furler. Now I am ready. And as he headed south today, upwind, he admitted, I am very tired of this. It seems I will have calm conditions, maybe too calm. But I will have time to recover, to eat, and then get some rest. But being moored in Las Palmas Gran Canaria naturally attracted a lot of attention. It was crazy. I knew I was in front of the webcam and lots of people were then coming around to see me. I had tell them not to come near. I don't need any help, don't touch me, stay away, or I will be disqualified from the race. People were coming close to the mooring line too, and I was worried people would hook on the mooring line and get tangled. Luckily everything worked out.
Hello, so it's my birthday and I've just had a few presents from my family. I don't know if you can see it, Sam happy. Birthday, Vendée Globe 2024-25. A birthday cake from my mum. Very kind of her. And we got a hand painted from my dad and stepmom. Happy birthday, Sam. I got an angel to go from my goddaughter. And a bunch of cards with some nice words from my family, which is, I feel very loved. So thank you very much, thank you for all the birthday wishes. And see you soon. And the best present so far is we got wind going at 24 knots average. And we're leading the Vendée Globe. So it's a good birthday. Happy birthday, ciao! Hi guys, good morning from Malizia Sea Explorer. Tuesday morning. I was sitting here, this is my favorite spot. The wind is from the left, we're going this way. And on this side you stay mostly dry, there's no splashes of water. And during the day you have the shade here and a beautiful view on the foil. And right now we have a bit of wind, we have the boat sometimes picks up on this swell that we have and gets going, and then it looks beautiful to feel the power from the foil, to look out here, to have these beautiful two sails. The J0 and the J3 are nicely shaped, harmonically together, creating this airflow through here which makes it nice and chilly. Yeah, I woke up with a bit of mindfulness, I kept my eye mask on. That was maybe 15 minutes ago. And I was thinking myself, what do I want to turn my attention to now? Because the night I will tell you about was not easy. And I could straight away go check the tracker, the weather, all these things, which I didn't do yet this morning. I needed to catch some sleep after that night. I could be miserable about the race and losing miles and or check lots of messages, and it's very easy for the mind to draw the attention to the risk, to the negative things, to the potential risk of getting left behind in the race. I mean, getting stuck maybe in growing doldrums where the others pass just through, and the mind could be very easily quite negative, to be honest. But I kept the eye mask on a little bit and said, what do I want to look at when I get up? And I wanted to get here to this spot and feel the fresh air, and I was rewarded by the boat accelerating really nicely and flying fish coming out of one of these gentle swells. And it's amazing how long they can glide on the ocean. So I have a flying fish somewhere, I'll show you later, but they're like this long, maybe this, the bigger ones. And the wings are very small, so they can't really fly as such, but with this speed they jump out of the waves, and the little wings are enough to keep them kind of skimming over 100, 200 meters just down the wave like a surfer would do. It's actually what they do is surfing. They just take advantage of the airflow on the surface, just like the albatross does, I imagine. And the body of the fish is silver, and it was shining like a silver bullet, just zooming along. I have a beautiful moon here. It is blue sky. You see the little clouds, they are fantastic. They are not nasty clouds like the one last night. I also kept quite calm in the night. So what happened? I was going straight like this. I was even sitting here actually. It was probably 1 a.m. I just had a short nap before, and I was getting out to check the trim and look around, and suddenly I would say like the boat had tacked. The sails would backwind and push into the mast. And it was pitch black dark, the moon wasn't strong yet, and therefore I hadn't seen a big cloud, hadn't realized, and so actually on this side there was a big cloud. So I thought straight away, where's the cloud on the radar? How can I get away from the cloud? And the sails were just flapping for hours, and eventually I ended up finding a little bit of wind, but from the exact opposite direction. I had south wind, I had north wind, I had west wind, and I regulated the boat for all of these conditions, and I was probably sailing 3 knots in different directions. At best, at the worst, I was just spinning, flapping, and I kept my calm. I put a little poof on the cockpit floor and closed the eyes for 5 minutes at a time, and just waiting for the wind to come, to shift, and the whole thing took up to 5 a.m. So I think most of the fleet have continued on at like 10 to 15 knots, where I was going backwards at time and just stopped. Is that bad luck? Is that skill? Would I have been able to see the cloud? I double checked on the set picture. That zone of cloudiness, I can't see. It didn't show up in different programs of satellite providers. I mean, the main one we look at is windy, not visible there. So I take it easy. That was just bad luck, man. And the race is still long, and it's really interesting. I mean, I think we have this culture of being a race sailor and mentally being the race. I physically feel it when I'm better positioned or worse. It's like it existentially touches me to be good or in the ranking or not, or losing miles or gaining miles. But then you can also switch that off. I can try and and see the essence of the beauty of the ocean and being here on this fantastic boat that is really well prepared. It doesn't have any problems. And we do this gigantic adventure. So yes, it is really all about the race, but then there's no point of getting worked up with that too much. If it's not possible, it's not possible. And yeah, I'm praying, and please pray for me that the sequence of shutdowns, doldrums and things distribute fair punishment to me towards the front runners. I'm happy to accept some. I don't need necessarily to get more, but I have a feeling that the passage was definitely trickier for the ones following behind. I also heard from Guyot, they didn't have an easy night. We were texting a bit, so yeah, this was a bit a longer message. I hope that's okay. So let's see what the day brings. It's Monaco National Day, so big regards, big greetings to everyone in Monaco. Thank you for the support and this great friendship. We are talking later. Have a good lunch. Bye bye.
Hello, welcome on board Doldrum PRB. We are on Monday morning. Still very nice and pleasant sailing condition, beautiful weather, some wind, flat sea state, some squall to avoid. There is a bit of work because the wind is quite unstable and we have to slalom a bit between the squalls, but it's interesting and very pleasant. I really enjoy the sailing. Today I took my orange PRB style sunglasses. It was a present from PRB employees just before the start of the race. And also we are on Monday, so I have every Monday I have a new sparkling water bottle. So it's a bit funny day today. Have a good day, have a good week. Bye bye.
C'est tout calme, très calme, mais ça avance. Et ça là, c'est les vestiges d'une manœuvre ratée cette nuit. Et du coup je l'ai dans le baba. Il va falloir que je la remonte, je la rehisse, que je la redéroule, que je la re-enroule et que je la fale correctement parce que là elle rentre pas du tout dans le sac. Autant dire que je sais pas du tout à quel moment je vais pouvoir faire ça. Bon, ça s'est fait dans la précipitation. Et tout le monde sait que en bateau, il ne faut pas se précipiter. Je suis la première à le savoir et je me suis fait avoir pas mal de fois là depuis le début du Vendée Globe. C'est des bonnes leçons ma foi. En tout cas, aujourd'hui, je profite du soleil. aujourd'hui, j'ai pris ma première douche. Trop bon. Bah, c'est un samedi sympa ça. Premier week-end du Vendée Globe. Il fait beau, il commence à faire chaud, c'est tout calme. Et moi j'en profite pour me reposer, pour ranger. Les premiers jours de course ont été éprouvants, vraiment fatigants, et le bateau est un peu en bazar. Et puis il y a une bonne surprise. Là il fait tout noir, c'est normal. Et ben la bonne surprise, c'est que je suis revenue dans le match. Ici, tac, un peu au milieu de la flotte. Et donc, c'est reparti.
Here we go again. Vendée Globe 2024. I've got the whole world ahead of me. Yes, this is going to be incredible. It's going to be a while till the wind fills in, and there's just no choice but to be here in the cockpit, hand steering, watching that sail like a hawk, just keeping the boat moving. I did eat before the start. I've got a bottle of water here and a piece of Grace's date cake, which is going to keep me going till the wind fills in. Thank you, Grace. It's going to be pretty hard to get any sleep tonight because the fleet is really close together. Because the wind speed's quite low, then everyone's got quite a similar speed, so we're not getting the separation we normally see with the foilers and the non-foilers. So yeah, you can see there kind of everyone is pretty close together, and this distance is, so that's a distance of 3 miles there, and there's an awful lot of boats in 3 miles. So I've got all my alarms on. I'll probably just have a little snooze. But yeah, not much sleeping I think tonight. It's a really spectacular night out here. So I've got good old Big Bertha up, and look at all those little flashing lights on the horizon. So that's the fleet. Quite close together, you can see. I fell behind after the start, got stuck in a bit of a wind hole, and the boats to the north did better. But I'm clawing my way back with the help of good old Big Bertha. Felt like the longest build up to a race start ever. Oh, it was tense, so tense, all of it. I didn't know what to do with myself at times. But now I'm out here, and I definitely do. And I just keep reminding myself, I've got to sail around the world. I've got to sail around the world now. I've got to pace myself. Got to think this through. Got to be methodical. Got to be careful. Got to be considered. I'm about to sail around the world. How cool is that? I can't believe how far south we are already, especially compared to the 2020 race. So we're already past the latitude of Madeira. It's getting warm. My thermometer says it's 22 degrees in the cabin. And when the waves crash over me outside, it's noticeably warm. But it's been another fairly relentless day. Had to do a really big sail change this morning. basically I've got 2 tack lines and they were both being used by sails that I didn't want, and I had to take everything down and put another sail up, which with all the packing and everything took quite a long time, and I thought I would try and pack the sails on the side of the deck while we were going along, but end up with me and the sails being washed down the deck a couple of times. So I lost a bit of ground there. And then the rest of the day's just been really, really shifty. Not a lot of opportunity to sleep. But I'm making progress, which is great. So you can see the fleet across there, and I'm just bang in the middle there, kind of to the west of this pack here. So these are the front foilers, and then there's kind of a middle pack, and I'm to the west of them. It's going to get tricky ahead. So the areas with blue and no wind, and you can see there's a big area of high pressure to the west of us immediately with not a lot of wind. And then if we fast forward, it just gets bigger and it extends out here. And then there's a low pressure forming up there, which basically is killing the whole of the trade winds here. So everyone's trying to find a route to get down there, which isn't going to be easy. Yeah, it's pretty relentless at the moment. But what do you expect? Part of the UNESCO Decade of the Ocean, the Vendée Globe race has partnered with a group of scientists working with UNESCO to gather data from around the oceans of the world, and several of the skippers have agreed to take scientific instruments on board. So some people are taking buoys that they throw over the side that gather data and send it back via satellite. Others have units on board that are measuring sea temperature and salinity and taking atmospheric readings. We've agreed to measure aerosols, so all I need to do is just open the little sensor on the top here, line up, got a little sight here, and I just line up the sensor directly at the sun and then wait until the readings stabilize. And press record 3 times, all readings. There's another one done. So from my understanding, this is measuring aerosols which could be pollutants. The examples we've been given is a haze from Saharan dust creates one level of reading, and then smoke and other pollutants creates another level. And I guess the deeper we go into the ocean, the less we're expecting to see. Although here, particularly here, I know you do get a haze from the Saharan dust, but by the looks of the sky today, I would say not. It's bluer than blue. Anyway, hopefully this helps us to learn more about our oceans and do more to protect them.